Everyone, this is Büşra Selçuk. My presentation is about chemical change in historical wooden structures in Rize Fırtına Valley. Wood is one of the oldest traditional construction materials used for religious and civil architecture in the Black Sea region of Turkey. Studies conducted to determine the factors that cause damage in historical wooden buildings in Turkey are quite limited. The factors of the special location of Rize Fırtına Valley will have an effect on the physical, mechanical, and biological properties of historical wooden structures. Climate indices have been developed by the American Weather Forecasting Office to determine the decay risk for wood materials based on the climatic conditions of the environment as follows. It has been reported that the risk of decay is relatively low in regions with a climate index of 35 or less, moderate in regions between 35 and 65, and the risk of decay of wood material in regions with a climate index of more than 65. The risk of decay in historical wooden buildings in this region due to the high climate index is quite high. Rize Fırtına Valley, with a climate index higher than 65, is one of the regions with the highest rainfall in our country. In the scope of this paper, 3 historical wooden mansions located in rural areas of Çamlıhemşin district were studied in detail. As high climate index results in high risks of decay in historical wooden structures, various historical buildings at different heights in Çamlıhemşin district of Rize province, which is one of the popular destinations of our country in terms of nature and cultural tourism, and located in this valley, are included in the study. Its aim to detect changes occur in the chemical structures of wood samples taken from those structures. 3 different areas in Çamlıhemşin, Rize, within the scope of the research, samples were taken from wooden mansions which are at least 150 years old in the region. Wood samples to be used in chemical analysis are mechanically chipped and it was ground at Wiley mill. The samples were sieved up to 60 mesh grain size in accordance with this standard. Chemical analysis completed are as follows: determination of moisture, determination of cellulose content, determination of holocellulose content, determination of lignin content, solubility in alcohol benzene, solubility %1 sodium hydroxide. I want to talk briefly about chemical analysis. Samples were subject to some chemical tests. 3 repetitions of the structure were made on each wooden sample. The moisture content of the prepared test samples in the drying cabin. It was determined by drying at 103 centigrade degree. Other chemical analyses were made according to standards. Determination of cellulose content. Hemicellulose was determined. 2 grams of sample was used for this. Analysis was conducted according to the standard methods. Determination on holocellulose content. Holocellulose carbohydrate left after the lignin substance of wood has been removed complex, containing all of the carbohydrates in wood in the study. The most reliable result in determining the amount of holocellulose, the chloride method was applied. The basis of the method is to treat sodium chloride in acetic acid acidify medium. The lignin in the insert samples is dissolved in the form of chlorlignin with the effect of chlorodioxide. The transition of solution occurs. Determination of lignin content. When wood is treated with strong acids, carbohydrates are hydrolyzed and residual lignin is obtained. Chestnut contains a high percentage of tannins. Samples were treated with alcohol to remove tannins. Then with %72 sulfuric acid cellulose was removed by treatment and lignin was obtained as the final product. The other chemical analysis, solubility in alcohol benzene. Take the crucibles from the oven and weigh them. It is weighed by adding gram as much as the sample to be used. 300 milliliter of alcohol benzene is put into the flask and the experiment is started. When the alcohol in the sample evaporates, it is taken into the oven and its complete dry state is calculated on the percentage. Solubility in percentage sodium hydroxide. 100 milliliters of %1 to wood samples at sodium hydroxide for 1 hour at 97 and 100 centigrade degree. Hot water bath has been suspended. Then the samples are filtered, neutralized and washed and dried. The difference with the untreated samples was calculated as a percentage. The sample taken from the mentioned number 3 has the highest and number 2 the lowest content solubility in percentage sodium hydroxide. The sample taken from the mentioned number 2 has the highest content and number 1 the lowest alpha cellulose content. Solubility in alcohol benzene shows similar results for each sample. The lowest hemicellulose is in the second sample. Thanks to the option results from this study, intervention restoration methods may be suggested for the protection and sustainability of wooden materials in historical buildings. As a result of this situation, the resistance properties of wood are negatively. Thank you.
Thank you, Büşra.